Molly Densmore, welcome to the show. Thank you so much for being here. I'm so happy to have you as a guest.
Thank you for having me.
You guys have questions for Molly? Let us know. We're talking today about weird jokes. Are jokes even a thing anymore? Do people joke? Are we allowed to joke? That's my question to you.
We're getting canceled. My goal is to get canceled, and I would be honored.
I think we're gonna do it.
Yeah, ask me questions that could cancel me. That could be a fun time.
I legitimately am asking this question. Are we allowed to say something is lame anymore?
I never even thought. I'm not the person to ask. I've literally never thought of that in my life, that I can't say this is lame, because that means are you ableist? Dude, okay. You know what? I have a friend in a wheelchair who has the most sick sense of humor. I feel like usually the people who are offended at everything have not gone through any bad shit in their life. For the most part.
Yeah. Is it because the standards keep changing? Is that why people get canceled? Because one thing that was funny a long time ago isn't funny anymore. There are so many comedians that we don't talk of anymore, like Louis C.K., God rest his soul. And
don't do that.
He's dead to all of us. But, you know, it's funny because Aziz Ansari, there's so many people that get canceled, and for different levels of different reasons. Are all offenses equal, is what I'm saying, asking.
Of course not. Both of those things, I think, should have come out, like about Louis and about Aziz Ansari. They were necessary for cultural dialogues, and they should have had repercussions for what they did. They fucked up. But I think the more important thing, you know, opposed to being like, these guys are like rapists, or like using these words that could maybe undermine what people who have gone through things like that. Mm-hmm. But they created a necessary cultural dialogue. The fact that every woman that I talk to has related to what is, you know, the woman who, Grace, in the Aziz Ansari.
It's kind of telling, right? That everybody's like, oh yeah, that's happened to me.
Exactly. And that's so fucked up. Like, I'm a feminist. I wanna preface. I'm a feminist. It's so fucked up that we've all dealt with. That shouldn't just be the way it is.
Did you see Aziz Ansari's Netflix special? I think it was a Netflix special.
I thought it was beautiful.
Yeah. It seemed like he was really reflecting on what he did. And I think that it's almost more important to have someone be able to reflect on their behavior genuinely. The way that Aziz Ansari described the situation, it was you could kind of relate to both sides equally, I think, of the story.
Like communication. And he was being a douchebag. But being a douchebag doesn't necessarily mean you're a predator.
I had a debate about this with my brother, and my brother insisted there are just some things you can't joke about, bro. And I was like, nope, literally you can make a joke about anything. I believe that humor is kind of a built-in mechanism in humankind to help deal with really difficult subject matter and really difficult situations. It helps us feel better about them. So any situation, I believe there can be a joke made about it. And I think a lot of comedians try to do that.
You can joke about something and fully understand the gravity of it. They're not a mutually exclusive thing. And we need it. Like, it's like these kinds of times is when we need it most, I think. Sarah Cooper, who I knew and was doing like a bunch of shows with, and even like a Zoom shows and Instagram Live. Now she's like, no comedian has dealt with the, you know, come through the pandemic as well as her. She's amazing. She does the Trump lip syncing.
It's amazing, yeah.
She's just so accurately making fun of him in the way she does it. So she's allowed to do it. Anthony Atomovic is a genius who has the President Show, because he gives him 3 modes that are like, I can't do it. So accurate. Like right after Trump was elected, going to any show or open mic was horrific, because like everybody just don't do, it's like putting a hat on a hat. You can't make fun of what's already insane.
Hat on a hat, that's one of my favorite expressions, because I kind of want to wear a hat on a hat. I think it would look cool. Candyland says, I just learned that you shouldn't say, did I stutter, as a comeback to somebody. People who stutter say it makes it seem like stuttering means one is flustered or has an incoherent argument.
This is interesting. This is stuff I've never thought of. I've never thought of that. I've never thought of the lame thing. But also, you don't say that because it's not the 90s anymore. Like, both of those things. It's like, it doesn't.
I say that for the same reason I don't say that's fresh. There was a guy who he got canceled from Saturday Night Live last year because
I met him. I don't know why it was the first thing that came out of my mouth, because it was a weird experience. I was sitting at a table with comics and I kept looking at him, and it's just funny because I'm sure he gets this like every day. And I was like, do I know you? Who are you? And he was just, without even looking up, he was like, I'm the guy who got fired from SNL. And I was like, oh, yeah.
Here's the thing about that guy in particular. They were like, he said this word and that word. I'm like, listen, in a vacuum, saying the N-word, saying any kind of word in a vacuum alone, I do not feel is a fireable offense, because there can be a context which it can be taken out of completely. And now that's a controversial statement. But when I listened to that dude, he was just saying these words, but like in a veiled hatred way. Like he had a contempt for this group of people that he was pejoratively labeling. And I felt that it was just, in the context, it was definitely fireable.
He doesn't think he should have been on SNL. Like he shouldn't have. I agree that he should have been fired. There's certain words that just you can't fucking say. I had a fight, like a text fight with my friend. I was also probably kind of drunk. Where I was like, I have opinions, Jurgens. I have opinions, but I'm on a date. And he's like, I'm on a date. Stop fucking texting me every 2 seconds. I'm like, no, you made me mad. So that's how articulate I was. But I told him, I was like, I'm across the table from, it was, I think, Shane Gillis. And he was like, get away, like acting like he's a leper. And I got so mad because I was like, look, he should have been fired. I know people who think he should not have been. I think they're wrong. He shouldn't have been on there. But to act like he's like this total monster, we've all... Right. You know, especially it was like 10 years ago on a random podcast, and if I dug up something.
I used to use the word lame.
Well, I stopped today, and I was every day using it, so.
Can I just say that you're a breath of fresh air? Because I miss being in New York, and your New York vibe is very refreshing. It reminds me of growing up back east.
I find your West Coast vibe very refreshing.
I've got palm trees on my shirt. I'm like, I've totally sold out.
Yeah.
Ron Pertwee says, fair. Unless someone is a total monster, they learn and they grow from their negative experience, I think. Yes, Ron, that is true. You know, we should probably give people a few How many chances should we get for doing the same thing? Like, how many Mel Gibsons are we allowing?
That's another thing, is like, nobody gives a fuck. Mel Gibson is still doing movies all the time.
Tell us what the bagels are like, because I'm starving for a bagel right now.
I haven't had a bagel in a really long time. I'm going to be moving to LA. I'm going to be selling out.
You're going to see some palm trees. You know, bagels go bad right that day.
Have you ever been on set and then just taken a bunch of bagels, the leftover bagels, and you become like a bagel monster with all your little sack of bagels? Is that just me? Am I the worst Jewish stereotype ever? Stealing a sack of bagels. I didn't steal them. They were going to throw them out. You've never done that? Okay, never mind.
They're like good for 15 minutes out the oven. And then...
You put your bagels in ovens? Oh, I guess you put your... See, I keep going down this... Oh, God. I'm going in the darkest places in my life.
You know, this is what we talked about earlier. Humor is made to deal with difficult subject matter. It seems pretty obvious, but how are you dealing with this as a performer, this whole COVID situation? Yeah,
You're doing great. No, it's actually mostly very, very good. And it's really nice to be around humans. And I was freaking out in the city in my apartment the first few weeks of this. I was like having panic attacks. And I, other than from like my first pot cookie, I did not have panic. I was not a panic attack haver. I don't know. I feel like anybody who acts like they're totally happy during all this is either full of shit or a sociopath. Because even if things are going well, you have to be empathetic at all with what's happening in the world, which I think hopefully some really good stuff is going to come out of. Maybe
one good thing will happen this year. Maybe. Still holding out. If you're on Twitter, follow Dolly Mensmore. If you're on Instagram, or if you have an Instagram, follow Dolly Mensmore. Molly,
take care.
Where can we find you? What are you doing? What are you up to?
Oh, crying in a ball. But when I'm not, what am I doing?
What are you doing?
What are you doing?
Not like that. Not like, what are you doing? And be like, what are you up to? You going for walks?
I'm going for walks. I'm going on walks. And it's nice. Yeah.
I think that's a perfect way to end it today. Guys, if you've noticed, Molly is a hilarious individual, and you should all follow her immediately. And
I need validation to live.
Molly, you're a wonderful guest. You're invited back anytime you like to come back. Thank you for this wonderful, uplifting experience that we've all shared today.
Thank you. I don't know how to be a person. Thank you. Really fun.
Thank you guys for joining us. Follow Dolly Mensmore on all the social media platforms. Condyland says, can't wait for your Netflix special, Molly.
Aw, nice. Oh my God.
Yes. Molly on Netflix. Let's make that a hashtag.
Okay.
Bye, guys.